हेलो दोस्तों, बिगनर्स पॉइंट में आपका स्वागत है। और अभी हम कर रहे हैं इकोनॉमिक्स। इससे पहले के चैप्टर नहीं देखे तो प्लेलिस्ट बना रखी है, उसमें जा करके देख सकते हैं। यहाँ तक कर लिया था कंज्यूमर प्राइस इंडेक्स नंबर। गवर्नमेंट एजेंसीज इन इंडिया प्रिपेयर अ लार्ज नंबर ऑफ कंज्यूमर प्राइस इंडेक्स numbers. Some of them are as follows. Consumer price index numbers for industrial workers with base 2001 is equal to 100. Value of index in May 2017 was 278. All India Consumer Price Index numbers for agricultural laborers with base 1986-87 is equal to 100. Value of index in May 2017 was 872. All India Consumer Price Index numbers for rural laborers with base 1986-87 is equal to 100. Value of index in May 2017 was 878. All India Rural Consumer Index with base 2012 is equal to 100. Value of index in May 2017 was 133.3. All India Urban Consumer Price Index with base 2012 is equal to 100. Value of index in May 2017 was 129.3. All India Combined Consumer Price with base 2012 is equal to 100. Value of index in May 2017 was 131.4. In addition, these indices are available at the state level. The detailed methods used for calculating each of these index numbers in is different, and it is not necessary to go into these details. The Reserve Bank of India is using the All India Combined Consumer Price Index as the main measure of how consumer prices are changing. Therefore, some details are necessary about this index number. This index is now being prepared with base 2012 is equal to 100, and many improvements have been made in accordance with international standards. The basket of items and weighing diagrams for the revised series has been prepared using the modified mixed reference period MMRP data of Consumer Expenditure Survey CES 2011-2012 of the 68th round of National Sample Survey NSS. The way are follows: major groups weight, food and beverage 45.8, pan tobacco or intoxicants 2.3, clothing and footwear 6.5, housing 10.07, fuel and light 6.84%, miscellaneous group 228.38, journal 100. Data are provided on the rate of change per year of each of the subgroups and main groups. So we can find out from this data which prices are rising most of all and are thereby contributing to inflation. The Consumer Food Price Index CFPI is the same as the Consumer Price Index for food and beverages, except that it does not include alcoholic beverages, prepared meals, snacks, sweet, etc. होल प्राइस इंडेक्स मतलब कि इसकी शॉर्ट फॉर्म क्या होती है? WPI. The whole price index number indicates the change in general price level. Unlike the CPI, it does not have any reference consumer category. It does not include items pertaining to services like barber charge, repairing, etc. What does the statement WPI with 2004-2005 has base in is 253 in October 2014 mean? It means that the general price level has risen by 153% during this period. The wholesale price index is now being prepared with base 2011-2012 is equal to 100. The value of the index for May 2017 was 112.8. This index uses the prices that are prevailing at the wholesale level. Only the prices of goods are included. The main types of goods and their weights are as follow. Major group total WPI फूड इंडेक्स कितना बैठेगा? 24.23. प्राइमरी आर्टिकल्स 22.62, फ्यूल एंड पावर 13.15, मैन्युफैक्चर्ड प्रोडक्ट्स 64.8, ऑल कमोडिटीज हेडलाइन इन्फ्लेशन 100. ये जो सोर्स है कहाँ से लिया गया है? मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ स्टैटिक्स एंड प्रोग्राम इम्प्लीमेंटेशन 2016-17. Usually the data on wholesale prices is available quickly. The all commodities inflation rate is often referred to as headline inflation. Sometimes the focus is on food items which comprise 24.23% of the total weight. This food index is made up of food articles from the primary articles group and food products from the manufactured products group. Other economists like to focus on the wholesale prices in manufactured goods other than food articles and also excluding fuel. And for this, they study core inflation, which make up around 55% of the total weight of the wholesale price index. Index of industrial production, unlike the consumer price index or the wholesale price index, this is an index which tries to make measure quantities. With effect from April 2017, the base year has been fixed at 2011-1200. The reason for the fast changes in the base year is that every year a large number of items either stop being manufactured or become inconsequential, while many other new items start getting manufactured. While the price indices were essentially weighted averages of price relatives, the index of industrial production is a weighted arithmetic mean of quantity relatives, with weights being allotted to various items in proportion to value added by manufacturer in the base year by using Lespierre's formula. IIP01 sigma ni is equal to 1 q li wi, ये पूरा फॉर्मूला है. IIP01 is the index, QIL is the quantity relative for year 1, QI1 यानी कि quantity relative for year 1 with year 0 has base good I. WI is the weight allotted to the good I. There are n goods in the production index. The index of industrial production is available at the level of industrial sectors and subsectors. The main branches are mining, manufacturing, and electricity. Sometimes the focus is on what are called core industry. ठीक है, इसके बाद आगे देखते हैं core industry, namely coal, crude oil, natural gas, refinery products, fertilizers, steel, cement, electricity. The eight core industry have a combined weight of 40.27% in IIP. Table 7.5 weightage pattern of IIP. Industrial production sectors. माइनिंग वेट कितना है, वेटेज कितना है इसका, माइनिंग का 14.4%, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग का 77.6%, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी 8% और जनरल इंडेक्स 100% टोटल. The index of industrial production is also available according to the use of the product, that is, for example, primary goods, consumer durables, and so on. 7.6 weightage pattern of IIP use based groups. Primary 34.1, capital goods 8.2, intermediate goods 17.2, infrastructure construction goods 12.3, consumer durables 12.8, consumer non-durables 15.3, general index 100. Human Development Index. Another useful index widely used to know the development of a country is Human Development Index HDI, about which you might have studied in class 10th. अब आ जाते हैं सेंसेक्स. सेंसेक्स इज द शॉर्ट फॉर्म ऑफ बॉम्बे स्टॉक एक्सचेंज sensitive index with 1978-79 as base. The value of the Sensex is with reference to this period. It is the benchmark index for the Indian stock market. It consists of 30 stocks, which represents 13 sectors of the economy, and the companies listed are leaders in their respective industries. If the Sensex rises, it indicates that the market is doing well and investors accept better earnings from companies. It also indicates a growing confidence of investors in the basic health of the economy. Issues in the construction of an index number. You should keep certain important issues in mind while constructing an index number. You need to be clear about the purpose of the index. Calculation of a value index will be inappropriate when one needs a value index. Besides this, the items are not equally important for different groups of consumers when a consumer price index is constructed. The rise in petrol price may not directly impact the living condition of the poor agricultural laborers. Thus, the items to be included in any index have to be selected carefully to be as representative as possible. Only then you will get a meaningful picture of the change. Every index should have a base year. This base year should be as normal as possible. Years having extreme values should not be selected as a base year. The period should also not belong too far in the past. The comparison between 1993 and 2005 is much more meaningful than a comparison between 1960 and 2005. Many items in a 1960 typical consumption basket have disappeared at present. Therefore, the base year for any index number is routinely updated. Another issue is the choice of the formula, which depends on the nature of question to be studied. The only difference between the Laspere index and purchase index is the weights used in these formula. Besides, there are many sources of data with different degrees of reliability. Data of poor reliability will give misleading results, hence due care should be taken in the collection of data. If primary data are not being used, then the most reliable source of secondary data should be chosen. Index number in economics. Why do we need to use the index numbers? Wholesale price index number WPI, consumer price index number CPI, industrial production index IIP are widely used in policy making. Consumer index number CPI or cost of living index numbers are helpful in wage negotiation, formulation of income policy, price policy, rent control, taxation, general economic policy formulation. The wholesale price index WPI is used to eliminate the effect of changes in prices on aggregates such as national income, capital formation, etc. The WPI is widely used to measure the rate of inflation. Inflation is a general and continuing increase in prices. If inflation becomes sufficiently large, money may lose its traditional function as a medium of exchange and as a unit of account. Its primary impact lies in lowering the value of money. The weekly inflation rates is given by xt minus xt 1 xt minus xt minus 1 into 100. Xt and xt minus 1 refer to the WPI for that t and t minus 1 week. CPI are used in calculating the purchasing power of money and real wage. Purchasing power of money equals to 1 divided by cost of living index. Real wage is equal to money wage divided by cost of living index into 100. If the CPI 1982 is equal to 100 is 526 in January 2020, 205. The equivalent of a rupee in January 2005 is given by 100 divided by 526 equals to 0.19. It means that is what 19 paisa in 1982. If the money wage of the consumer is rupees 10,000, his real wage will be 10,000 into 100 divided by 526, that is 1901. It means 1901 in 1982 has the same purchasing power as the rupees 10,000 January 2005. If he or she was getting 3,000 in 1982, he and she is was of due to rise in price. To maintain the 1982 standard of living, the salary should be raised to rupees 15,780, which is obtained by multiplying the base period salary by the factor 526 divided by 100. Index of industrial production gives us a quantitative figure about the change in production in the industrial sector. Agriculture Production Index provides us a ready reckoner of the performance of agricultural sector. Sensex is a useful guide for investors in the stock market. If the Sensex is rising, investors are optimistic of the future performance of the economy. It is an appropriate time for investment. Where can we get these index numbers? Some of the widely used index numbers: WPI, CPI, index number of yield of principal crops, index of industrial production, index of foreign trade are available in economic survey. Conclusion: estimating index number enables you to calculate a single measure of change of a large number of items. Index numbers can be calculated for price, quantity, volume, etc. It is also clear from the formula that the index numbers need to be interpreted carefully. The items to be included and the choice of the base period are important. Index numbers are extremely important in policymaking as is evident by their various uses. अभी आ जाते हैं, रिकैप देख लेते हैं। An index number is a statistical device for measuring relative change in a large number of items. There are several formulas for working out an index number, and every formula needs to be interpreted carefully. The choice of formula largely depends on the question of interest. Widely used index numbers are wholesale price index, consumer price index, index of industrial production, agricultural production index, and census. The index numbers are indispensable in economic policy मेकिंग। और इसी के साथ ये चैप्टर हो जाता है ख़त्म, और उसके बाद करेंगे अब कल 8वां चैप्टर।